excuse me, but now, my friends, we are on the brink of the everlasting. All right, and so, my friends, okay, we bring you tonight the next episode of Political Point Magazine. Okay, as it comes along. Okay, you are watching Political Point Magazine. Yes. Yes. Now. Where the right is right, and the left, well, left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So, enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, now, a new book makes light of the... Oh, wait. We're starting off with the inequalities of... Obama tries to attack poverty and income inequality. We will get into that, okay? And but he's attacking the Republicans on the extension of the unemployment benefits. Now, we will get into some of that. And a new book exposes Obama, written by Bob Gates, former defense secretary. And we will tell you about that. Okay? And Governor Chris Christie, well, let's see. Let's just say he's running into problems with Bridgegate. Yep. And there's a new scam in the New York Fire Department and the New York Police Department on Social Security disability. We'll tell you about that. And Dennis Rodman tries to play diplomat again, and in North Korea. Yeah, we'll tell you about that. All right. But we will get into all that and more. We'll talk to you, the viewers, and welcome to another episode of Political Point Magazine. I am your humble host, William Mitro. All right, welcome. Welcome, my friends. Okay, now we are on the verge of talking about a lot of things here, and I'm going to talk about this because now over the last 2 weeks, okay, Obama tries to combat income inequality and whatnot, but yet he took his vacation, right? He took his vacation. Now, this is what he said before the vacation, all right? And let me show you this, all right? Okay, let me show you this, all right? But I'm gonna put a lot of this on the Political Point Magazine's Political Point of Vision. All right. So now, on this note, man, you got to pay attention to this. Okay, watch this. All right. This is what Obama said at the before they went on their vacation. Okay, take a look at this. All right, here it is.
Long-term unemployed are not lazy. They're not lacking in motivation. They're coping with the aftermath of the worst economic crisis in generations. Congress should pass this bipartisan plan right away, and I will sign it right away.
So now we're going to have a political issue. You don't care if you won't extend this. But if you look at the states that cut it back, they've actually lowered their unemployment rate and increased their job formation. So there's a debate economically about whether this is an incentive that is a disincentive to work or versus an incentive to help people.
So you heard that there, on the news programs there. Barack Obama seems to be trying to combat income inequality, but he fails to realize that it's his own policies that have been creating this income inequality. All right, the rich have been allowed to get richer, and the poor have gotten poorer, and so with this on the minds of many people, all right. Now, extending unemployment benefits. There was a bill in the Senate, okay, that the Senate passed, extending unemployment benefits for at least 3 months. All right, now this does not help, my friends. Okay, there's actually a new study out, okay, on the minimum wage. Okay, now extending the unemployment benefits. Okay, I'll get into the minimum wage in a minute, but extending the unemployment benefits is not really going to help people to find jobs. Okay, as you just heard Barack Obama say that the long-term unemployed are not lazy, but they're out of a job, Mr. Obama. Okay, they're out of a job, which your policies have killed jobs in this country. All right, so extending this unemployment benefits nonsense is just nonsensical. Okay, it doesn't help people, okay, who are struggling out there to find work. All right, it doesn't help, okay, because namely, okay, it helps to create the poor. Okay, namely, for this reason. Okay, for this reason here. All right, take a listen. Take a look at this. I mean, we have if you extend the unemployment benefits, okay, that will encourage a policy that is put forth by laziness. Okay, so you're encouraging more laziness. I'm not saying the unemployed are lazy. I'm saying your policies create more lazy people. All right, Obama. I mean, this is just ridiculous, okay? We have more people unemployed under Barack Obama. Mind you, in December alone, last year, the economy only created 74,000 jobs. That's very dismal. Very, very dismal, my friends, okay? That's not creating jobs. And we don't even know how these jobs are. There's a question of whether or not we should raise the minimum wage there, and the minimum wage is a debate that people are having, okay, and it does go for it right now in New York. I believe the minimum wage is $8 an hour. All right, now Barack Obama has said that he wants to raise the minimum wage to $9 an hour. All right, but there's a problem with his policies, even $10 an hour maybe. All right, but there's a problem with that. Okay, number one, if you raise the minimum wage plus raise taxes, that's counterproductive. Okay, Barack Obama's policies have raised taxes, all right, on the American people. All right, this is just ridiculous. All right, and okay, and it's not just the upper class that he's raised taxes on. He's raised taxes on everyone. Remember the fiscal cliff deal? Taxes went up. Hello? Yes, the payroll taxes went up. Yep. And that didn't help the average working American. All right? And still, his policies have been creating the distribution as in whereas the rich has still been getting richer and the poor still have been getting poorer. Okay? So the question is now, are we really fighting a war on poverty? Okay? Because when you install policies that don't do anything to generate the wealth to where it should be, then you're actually being counterproductive here. All right? So Barack Obama's policies have not done well on the economy, have not done well. I mean, and in a sense, this is another form of class warfare. All right, class warfare. So the Democrats, they claim now that there is imbalance between the rich and the poor. Okay. But having that said, it's their policies that have made it all amok. All right. It's their policies that have made it all amok. All right. So we're dealing with a crisis here, in a sense that that the Barack Obama policies have not done a darn thing to help the American people. All right. And we all know what a disaster Obamacare is. Namely, now we have another disaster on our hands under the Obama administration. All right. The other disaster is his foreign policy. All right. You remember very much so that when we went into Iraq under George W. Bush, okay, all of the Democrats were against it. Yeah, sure, but they voted for it. Okay. Yeah. All right. And now, and they didn't expect it to be a long-term battle. All right. For one, Bush did the right thing when he went into Iraq and Afghanistan. All right. And he combated the terrorists where they are, so we didn't have to fight them here at home. Okay. That was the Bush doctrine. Okay. Go after terrorism wherever they are. Okay. And that's what Bush did. All right. And he installed the terror surveillance program, and he installed the Patriot Act, which protected us from terrorism. All right. And then, but all the Democrats seem now to, when Barack Obama became president, and he wanted to pull out of Iraq. All right. Our foreign policy now is a disaster. Okay. He wanted to pull out of Iraq because he felt that Afghanistan was the war that we should be fighting. Right. Okay. So he didn't want to deal with the broader war on terror, which is Al Qaeda and the Ansar al-Sharia and whatnot, and all the other networks, all the other terror networks out there. Okay, this is just ridiculous because you know what's happened. Okay, Al Qaeda has been allowed to work. Okay, allowed to expand. Okay, just because Obama killed Osama bin Laden doesn't mean he ended the terror war. Okay, so we pull out of Iraq, and then guess what happened? Chaos happened in Iraq. Okay, we were under democratically elected forms of government in Iraq, and everything was all well within that government when we were there under Bush. Okay, but the moment that Obama pulls out of Iraq and redistributes troops into Afghanistan because he feels that this is the appropriate war, okay? He didn't even want to call it his war, all right? Okay? But he goes into Afghanistan, pulls troops out of Iraq, and now we have a situation in Iraq, okay, that is creating chaos and havoc all over the country over there. All right? Al Qaeda has moved into Iraq. That's right. So this Obama fails in this department in fighting terrorism. All right? He hasn't crippled Al Qaeda. He hasn't killed Al Qaeda. He hasn't stopped terrorism. And we are now in the broader war of terror still. Okay? And I mentioned this weeks earlier too. You know, we are still fighting the war on terror. But Obama and his administration failed to realize this little factor here. All right? But now there's another situation here. All right? In which now we have a lot of things to cover here. All right? But there's a new book out by former Defense Secretary Robert Gates. Yep. And this is a guy that Obama relied on heavily, okay, for his defense strategy. All right. But a new book exposes how Barack Obama really felt about fighting the wars and everything else, and it exposes conversations that were put forth. All right. On this note, my friends. Okay, so it exposes conversations that were brought upon by by Obama. In fact, we'll put up some of those conversations, some of those notes in the book. This is what we got from the book here. All right. Okay, so this is what we get from the book here. All right. So take a look at this. All right. Okay. Bill Gates says, "I was pretty upset myself. I thought implicitly accusing Petraeus of gaming him in front of 30 people in the Situation Room was inappropriate." And then he says, "Not to mention highly disrespectful of Petraeus. As I sat there, I thought the president doesn't trust his commander, can't stand Afghanistan President Hamid Karzai, doesn't believe in his own strategy, and doesn't consider the war to be his. For him, it's all about getting out." Now, on this note, he also had other conversations, which Bill Gates talked about, when he was talking with Hillary, and he goes on to say, Hillary told the president that her opposition to the 2007 surge in Iraq had been political because she was facing him in the Iowa primary, the Iowa caucus. The president conceded vaguely, and that opposition to Iraq to the Iraq surge had been political. To hear the two of them making these admissions and in front of me was as surprising as it was dismaying. Okay. Then he goes on to say, all too early in the Obama administration, suspicion and distrust of senior military officials, but by senior White House officials, including the president and vice president, became a big problem for me as I tried to manage the relationship between the commander-in-chief and his military leaders. So you see, with that admission, the book is called Duty, okay, by former Defense Secretary Robert Gates. All right, so the book is called Duty, and I suggest that everybody get on it, okay, and read that book because it's a good read, and you will learn a lot from that. All right, so now, moving on now, I'm going to put back up the political point division, all right, as we go on to an increasingly deeper matter here, all right, on Governor Chris Christie, all right. Actually, that political point division, all right, let's get this off there. Okay, there we go. All right, but we have a situation on Governor Chris Christie here. All right, now Chris Christie recently has a problem with Bridgegate. All right, now in which this creates a little stir. His campaign aides in the election last year tried to help, or shall I say, gain revenge on the mayor, okay, on a Democratic mayor who refused to endorse the governor. All right. So so Governor Chris Christie, okay, now who has been considered a bully by a lot of people on the opposite side because of his style of governing. All right, mind you, he has made New Jersey a better place to be. Okay, but Governor Chris Christie's White House hopes now are kind of maybe not looking good because of this. All right. Now, he didn't deem that this was appropriate. Okay. Governor Chris Christie began a nearly 2-hour press conference Thursday by saying he's responsible for vengeful lane closures on the George Washington Bridge. Okay, this is Bridgegate. All right, okay, and so on the George Washington Bridge, and spent the rest of the time giving excuses why it wasn't his fault. All right, so now he says, I am responsible for what happens under my watch, the good and the bad, he said at the start of the 105-minute session with reporters at a state house in Trenton, New Jersey. Okay, now, and when mistakes, and he goes on to say, when mistakes are made, then I have to owe up to them and take the action that I believe is necessary. Now, okay, but the New Jersey governor, a top contender for the 2016 GOP presidential nod, insisted he was blindsided. Okay, now I can see why he would feel that way. Now, Governor Chris Christie's aide Bridget Kelly gave the green light for the George Washington Bridge gridlock. All right, and this closed down the bridge. Okay, but she was fired. Okay, another aide resigned. Okay, and another aide was fired. Okay, in all of this. All right, and on top of that, the New Jersey Republican aides to Governor Romney actually got an official from New York to help out with this, blocking the bridge, claiming that this was they were conducting safety tests, which turned out to be false. All right, on this. Okay, so but Governor Chris Christie says he was blindsided in all of this. Okay, he was humiliated. Okay, and but this really put the strain on his presidential run. Okay, now namely, whoops, wrong side. There it is. All right, but anyhow, you see Chris Christie. All right, right here, and this is the Daily News cover, one of the Daily News covers on this topic here, that Chris Christie's chances now for if he's thinking about running for president doesn't look good, and it says fat chance now, Chris. But this, my friends, is an example of dirty politics. Okay, now. Namely, there was a lady there. Okay, there was an older lady, a 91-year-old lady, that died in this scandal here. Okay, now however, the family of the old lady is not holding the governor or the public officials responsible for this. Okay, now the family of a 91-year-old woman who, okay, and let me read this to you. Okay, this I found interesting. Okay, I want to get this piece in here. All right, but the family of a 91-year-old woman, okay, of a 91-year-old woman who died during the George Washington Bridge lane closing, won't blame her death on the government-generated gridlock. Okay. Now, okay, mind you, this government-created gridlock, okay, by the public officials of the Chris Christie aides, okay, caused damage. It caused damage, and it caused schools to be late, children to be late for school, and it caused some old lady to die. But I'm not blaming it on them, okay, as well. But I want to continue here, okay. The mother, okay, now the mother-in-law of was now, because they say now they're not blaming the woman's death on the government generated bridge closings, because they say that the woman was already dead. Okay, this is according to Frank O'Leary, the son-in-law of Florence Geneva. Okay, Genova. Okay, Florence Genova. All right. Okay, the 911 call for Genova came in at 8:43 a.m. on September 9th. Okay, the first day of the massive traffic jams in Fort Lee, New Jersey, according to town officials. Okay, now, but it took the responding ambulance 7 minutes to reach the unconscious woman, a trip that typically would take between 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, in the compact town on the west side of the Hudson River. Okay, now while the family absolved anyone of guilt in the death, Governor Chris Christie still felt obligated or obliged to offer Genova's relatives an apology. Okay, so he issued an apology, and I think he did the right thing. And he also apologized to the Fort Lee mayor, okay, which the Fort Lee mayor now says that he accepts the governor's apology, and he says that it is genuine. Okay, it is a genuine apology. All right, now, okay, now I want to get into another thing on this. Okay, this 91-year-old lady that died. Okay, now, okay, so, okay, they say it's awful to hear. This was Governor Chris Christie's response. Okay, it's awful to hear, he said, of the death of the response delays. All I can do is apologize for the conduct of the people who worked for me. I can't reverse time. Believe me, I would. Okay? Now, O'Leary, married to Genova's daughter, Velma, said that there was a longer delay in reaching Englewood Hospital. Okay? Now, the longtime Fort Lee resident and a widow who lived alone was pronounced dead upon arrival. All right. So the ambulance, he says, the ambulance came and picked her up, he said, but it was delayed going to the hospital, evidently. Okay. O'Leary said his wife did not believe the traffic logjam was responsible for the death. She feels it had nothing to do with her mother's passing, and said which he said that at the family's New Jersey home. Okay, so they don't blame the death on the backlog of the George Washington Bridge. All right, but okay, this my friends makes a perfect argument for the Republicans this year in the midterm election, 2014 elections. The 91-year-old lady who died in the backlog of the George Washington Bridge closing didn't die from all the chaotic backlog. She died. She died as a result of the failed result of Obamacare. They can make that argument, okay? Because they even say in that article that there were longer lines, a longer delay to get to the hospital. So this is what Obamacare has created, all right? And Obamacare has created a debacle, and long lines to get to the hospital. Okay, it's sounding a lot like Europe. All right, where people die on arrival or die to get to the hospital. All right, and so this, my friends, is quite disturbing. All right, now I want to get into several other things, but before I get to the phones, okay, I want to bring up something. I'll take one call and then I want to get to something else. Okay, something different. Okay. Now, hold up. Hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Yeah, so this socialized medicine thing isn't that what it is?
That's what Obamacare is, yeah. But it's not working.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's not working. It doesn't work. You know, they should have learned by now. You know, it doesn't work. I mean, just remember what happened to Natasha Richardson, the actress that went on a ski trip in Canada. She died on her way to the hospital. All right. So.
Oh, because of a waiting line. Because there's care for everybody, but you got to wait forever to get it, right?
Yep. So, it's just it's not working. It's not working. Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. Like I'm disabled. I'm on Medicaid, Medicare, and it's terrible. I had to give up all the doctors that I had. Can't get a good dentist.
Let me tell you something. Let me show you something here. All right, and this is what I want to get into. You're on disability, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now you will be shocked at this. All right. And this is what I wanted to talk about earlier. Okay, but this article. Did you hear about this? Cops and firefighters scam taxpayers in $400 million disability fraud.
Huh.
This is New York. Okay, the NYPD and the FDNY. Okay, these people scammed the government or scammed people. Okay, claiming they had a disability or disabilities that they couldn't really prove, and they said that they couldn't. As you see, this one guy is water skiing, okay, and he flips a double bird at people, okay, and this was a former police officer, okay, and they claimed that they had disabilities. And they claimed that they couldn't function in activities and stuff, but yet they are seen in. They are seen clearly. Case number 1, okay, the first one, right here, okay. Case number 1, Richard Consentino, okay, the former cop, claimed he was so distraught that he couldn't socialize and leave the house, but photos of him holding a massive sailfish and while fishing off the coast of Costa Rica.
Oh, so he's taking a vacation on us, huh?
Yeah. So and he netted $207,639.70. All right.
And they wonder why people call them pigs.
Yeah. And then case number 2 we have is Glenn Lieberman. And this was one of the ringleaders of this. Okay, the former Brooklyn anti-gang cop claimed to suffer from depression and panic attacks and after working at Ground Zero, but he was never actually at the site. A former colleague said, and he netted $175,758.40.
Well, that's good. They're busting down on him now.
Yep. And then there's case number 3, which we have former helicopter. They call him Helicopter Mike. He's a NYPD, former NYPD, Michael Scabara, but used to work as an undercover cop fighting gun violence in Brooklyn. And he now runs a lucrative helicopter for a business for the wealthy. And he claimed that he couldn't function adequately. And he netted this was one of the biggest, $232,443.70 between November 2005 and June 2013.
Oh man, they should throw them in with the criminals that they caught and let them take care of them.
And then there's this guy. All right. Then there's this guy, Joseph Maroon. Okay. The beefy ex-cop claimed to have a fear of large crowds, but was caught on camera doling out cannolis while working at a packed San Horano street festival in Little Italy. This guy netted $109,930 between October 2009 and June 2013.
Oh my lord! And they wonder, oh man.
Yep.
Crazy.
And all of these guys, retired cops, and they used the system. It was a $400 million con game, and they used disability and Social Security as an excuse to make wealthy lives out of themselves.
Well, I guess Mick Jagger was right when he wrote in the song, "Every cop is a criminal."
Yes, and
I
every
don't know about all. There might be some good cops out there, but
and every dog has its day, right?
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Good to talk to you, and keep up the good work.
Yep. All right. Okay. On that note, whoops. Okay. Anyway, thank you for your call. Whoops. I want to get into more. Okay. But all right. 272-3835. Hello. You're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy. Hey, well, there is a lot of crooked cops in the
Oh yeah.
there's also there was one time over $100,000 of confiscated drugs stolen from the evidence warehouse
Yeah.
department, and they just didn't have a clue where to get it.
Uh-huh.
So I was talking to say, well, those cops are good at what they do. you know, and so
Yeah.
I'm not speaking to right now. We can't really hear me speaking. The television's on in front of everybody, But I'm trying to encourage other people to call too.
What's that? What was that? Speak
But
up. Speak up, okay?
wait a second.
You there?
Speaker is on. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me now?
All right.
All right.
So yes, but there was also first I wanted to know what day of newspaper was that when you showed that New York Post.
The
with all
New
police reports of all of you. Police taking
That
those-
was hang on one second. Let me get that to that article there.
It
Okay.
must be in the same article.
Yes, if you got up
By
to
the way,
that.
Mark's Pizza, it's Alpha Pizza.
That was
Place anywhere to-
January 8th, 2014.
January 15th.
Yep, 2014.
January 8th. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. New York Post.
Okay.
Very much. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So hey, everybody come to Mark's Pizza and get pizza. You can watch football games. You can also watch this show.
Football?
So, good luck.
Yes, thank you for your call. All right.
Yep.
All right. All right, my friends. What else is on tap here? Okay. Now, apparently Dennis Rodman, okay, and I wanted to get into a little of that too. But you all know that Dennis Rodman now has created quite the stir in North Korea, right? And he's been out there in North Korea claiming that the head of Pyongyang is a good guy, and he wants a basketball tournament, you know, with the Americans and the North Koreans. All right. But he created quite the stir out there. All right. And this is quite shocking. Okay. Now, me personally, I think Dennis Rodman is being an idiot. All right. Because for one, this guy, they call him Little Kim. All right, because he's the son of Kim Jong Il. All right. So, and this is Kim Jong Un. All right, who now is the president of North Korea. Well, he's not a president; he's the dictator. All right, he's the North Korean dictator, which now, and they found out that while Dennis Rodman was over there, he was trying to be a diplomat per se, but he was trying to be a diplomat, create peace, but apparently he was blindsided as well. Okay, he was blindsided to the fact that the North Korean dictator has killed dignitaries. All right, and he was outraged and stuff. So to the extent Dennis Rodman is being a pawn for the North Korean dictator. All right, this guy is just using Dennis Rodman. Okay, and Dennis Rodman is being such a ignorant moron. Okay, now I wasn't much of a Rodman fan back when the Bulls were a really good team because of Jordan. Okay, I liked the Bulls and I liked Jordan, but Dennis Rodman was a character. Okay, he was a character, and he's always been a character. Okay, and then he went into movies. You know, I followed that, and then now, why? Who is the idiot that appointed Dennis Rodman? As if we need more morons, okay, in the foreign department, okay, and orchestrating foreign policy, all right. I mean, the foreign policy, as I said before, is such a disaster, okay. Now, but Rodman did make one point, okay. Barack Obama will talk to Iran, but he won't talk to the North Korean president. Okay. And why is that? Okay. That's now. And then he goes on to say that he should talk to me. Okay. So Rodman wants to talk to Obama about this situation. All right. So who is the moron that made Dennis Rodman diplomat? Okay. It's creating such a stir. We are just such livid over this situation here. I mean, Rodman is not the guy you want to rely on for things. I mean, sure, he's made millions and millions of dollars playing basketball, you know, shooting hoops, all right? And now he wants to create this diplomacy plan where we have North Korea as our North Korea as you know, I mean, he wants to create a international basketball team, you know, with the North Koreans and the U.S. and other countries and whatnot. Do you really think this is gonna work? I mean, this, my friends, is just ridiculous. I mean, okay, what do you think? Okay, 272-3835 is the number. All right, you know, I find it interesting that with all of the policies here that have gone awry, we've had Obamacare, the economy, now it's just a disaster. All right, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Okay, I want to ask though, that police report that was on the North Post.
It was also on the Daily News too.
But what does that have to do with the president? I mean, I used to connecting with poor, management of the president. I mean, you know, I was thinking about there was another occasion where there was over $100,000 worth of drugs stolen from a drug evidence warehouse. It's owned by the police department. And they didn't have a single clue as to who did it. And that's why I was saying, oh, yeah, the reason why is police are good at what they do. And that's what really they say. You know, not all of them are good. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, not all of them are crooked.
I know.
No. It's just, you know, there are some. There are some, but you know the
Right.
people in impoverished neighborhoods all claim that the cops are crooked. You
It's
know.
hard to generalize. You know, it's hard to generalize, really.
Yeah.
There's always they contradict it when we do that. You know, but,
Yeah.
Okay, very much.
Yep. All right. Thank you for your call. All right. But anyways, what's on your political mind? All right. What do you think of all of the situations here? All right. This is all coming into play here. All right. And I do urge you to get that book by former Defense Secretary Bill Gates. Okay. It's called Duty. All right. And I put up some of the phrases and conversations that the president had on there. But my friends, okay, now it is an election year, and I want to get your thoughts on how you think this whole, okay, now the Democrats are calling it a war on poverty. All right, okay, now are we really fighting a war on poverty? All right, now Lyndon Johnson was one of the first presidents to bring this issue up. All right, and he was a Democrat. All right, but this whole issue, but if you take a look at the structure of the Democratic policies, all right, now the economy is a big major issue. Okay, so if you take a look at the way things are structured and the policies that are put out, okay, how can you say that you're helping those in need when your policies are actually creating the needy? All right, this is I find quite interesting. See, they want to the Democrats want to raise the minimum wage, all right, but they also want to raise taxes. All right, that's counterproductive. All right, that doesn't do anything to make the people who are in poverty get more successful. Okay, and as I mentioned before, they want to extend the unemployment benefits. All right, which I think is ludicrous because I think it encourages more of this lazy mentality, okay, that the government is enforcing on its people. All right, so the thing that needs to be done is we need to have a simpler tax code. All right, a simpler tax code, and I have been shooting for this forever. Okay, ever since Obama became president, I have been shooting for this. Okay, I have read up on this. I have done my research on this. A simpler tax code. And when Reagan was president, he changed the tax code entirely, and it was better for the economy. All right, it was more. Now people called it supply side economics. Okay, but it was more of a simpler tax code. Okay, he changed the tax code entirely. All right, now what I am proposing is we abolish the IRS because we don't really need the IRS. There's been too many scandals under the IRS. Okay, along with the NYPD and the FDNY. But we need to abolish the IRS and install a simpler tax code, a flat rate. Okay, flat rate. Okay. Hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Hello. I forgot to ask you, please forgive me, but when are the repeats of this show?
What's that?
What days and what times are the repeats of this show? I know they will be live when the repeats happen, but when are they?
Monday nights, 7:30 is the live.
7:30.
7:30 Monday nights is
Seven-
live. Okay. Then
No,
it
that's not live. But what?
then it
What
reruns.
is the repeats? I said the repeats.
Then the repeats are at 11 Monday nights,
Oh, 11.
11 Monday nights, and then Wednesday night at 8 and Saturdays at 3. I always post the times at the end of the show.
Okay, now wait a minute. What thing is that PM or 8?
What's that?
Wednesday?
Wednesday at 8.
Is that PM, right?
Yep, Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 3.
Okay, PM. And then which one? Like Thursday?
And then Saturdays at 3.
Oh, Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
Okay, at
Yes.
3 PM, right?
Yep.
Okay, so don't forget to come to
I always post up the I always post them up. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you.
What a news conference.
Okay.
at the end of the show, you mean?
I want to show you. Okay. What is your view on Chris Christie?
Do you mean at the end of the show you'll put them up?
Yeah, I always post up the times. I always post up the times at the end of the show.
At the end of the show? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. So everybody come to Punch Pizza when you get to eat Punch Pizza. If you want to watch the football game, you want to watch the show.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay.
Pizza, Route 15.
All right. Thank you for your call.
Yep.
All right. But my friends, now I post up this picture right here. All right. And okay, Bridgegate is very, very interesting here. All right. Now we see that this is not going to go over well. Okay, for Christie, and there's a lot of Republicans out there now that are not really too fond of Christie right now. All right, and because he's been considered more of a moderate, and moderates in the Republican Party, and you saw how he buddied up to Obama after Hurricane Sandy. All right, now, but excuse me. But you see that Governor Chris Christie, all right. But I'm going to put up some of his press conference, okay. Some of his press conference, all right. As we note right over here, all right. Okay. I'm going to put up some of his press conference, all right. And here it is, all right. But before I get
here today to apologize to the people of New Jersey. I apologize to the people of Fort Lee, and I apologize to the members of the state legislature. I am embarrassed and humiliated by the conduct of some of the people on my team. I had no knowledge or involvement in this issue, in its planning or its execution. And I am stunned by the abject stupidity that was shown here, regardless of what the facts ultimately uncover.
So there you see Governor Chris Christie, and had to apologize, and I don't blame him. I mean, but it's definitely not the kind of thing you really want to have on your plate at this time. Okay, in his career, mind you, he won re-election in a landslide. Okay, and it's quite interesting. All right, but now, my friends, this is just, and now I'm going to bring up the last words of the night. Okay, and on this Monday here, all right, but the last words of the night come to you courtesy of, all right, and now we all have made mistakes, all right, and we all know that these are trying times, all right, but in 2014, my friends, it is time to get things on the roll here, all right. Now we need to take in what I am suggesting, okay, the Democrats have messed everything up. All right. So we need to take in better economic solutions. All right, like the ones that Republicans that are proposing. All right. So 2014 sounds like a pretty good year. All right. And we definitely want to stop the fraud and abuse and everything else. All right. But this, my friends, is quite the interesting year now. 2014 kicking off here. All right. We're definitely out getting this on the roll here. All right. So, my friends, all right, 2014 is now in session, and the 2014 midterm elections are underway. All right. And my candidate is Rand Paul for president in 2016. Okay. Like I said before, I wasn't really I'm not really a big fan of Chris Christie. Okay. But you know, this incident is gonna blow it out of the water for him. All right. It's gonna really blow it out of the water for him. All right. But my friends, that is our show for tonight. All right. And I thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. All right. Now, follow me on Twitter at WilliamMetro2. And also, you can also check out my page on YouTube. Okay? Yep. Also check us out on YouTube. Alright. Yep. Thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history.